This video is sponsored by Renaissance Bank, the best bank in the South. Check them out at renaissancernation.com. Hey, what's up? Matt Wyatt here. Film study time, Florida's win over Auburn in the Swamp. I picked Florida on my radio show last week to win the game, and kind of the way I thought it might play out is the way it did play out, and that is Florida's defense was really good, especially at home. A lot of juice, a lot of energy, jumped on top of some freshman QB mistakes, and kind of the atmosphere was a little tough for Bo Nix to handle, although he got better throughout the game. Still, Florida had a big advantage at home, and it played out that way. Their defense played out, to be a huge factor in their pressure on the line of scrimmage. And, the other thing is, and I'm going to show you here, we're going to start with Dan Mullen on offense. Even though Florida maybe not as balanced, not running the ball as effectively throughout the games as they want to, Dan Mullen is as good as anybody at finding a way to create a one-on-one matchup with somebody that really gives his team an advantage. He's a master at that, and he did that against Auburn. So I'm going to start you off here. I'm going to show you 3 examples of the same concept that Florida used. Auburn adjusted every now and then, but not enough. Florida scored on this same thing out in the field, then in the red zone, and that was figuring out a way to get a slot receiver matched up against an Auburn linebacker, and they hit it twice for a score. Take a look. Here's one example of that play. They're getting a 3-man receiver side, so the second slot receiver in, matched up with a linebacker, hit him in the middle. He's obviously beating the linebacker in coverage, and then this turns into a touchdown because he outruns a safety who is free. So if you go back and look at what they've done formationally, again, this is in the first quarter really early, so it's obviously a game plan thing. If you look, ball is on the left hash, and what Florida has done, no receivers there, but they have a tight end on that side, into the boundary, and then trips to the field, and they get the formation they want. I was a little confused at first looking at it, trying to figure it out. But this is man-to-man responsibilities with a free safety in the middle of the field. So this is, man-free or cover one. So with that responsibility, it means that somebody is also responsible for the running back. So intentionally, they've released him to the short side of the field, and that's, again, going to kind of clear up the middle of the field read for the quarterback. If you look, his eyes are in the middle of the field. He's not looking to his right, but running back's running out of there on a cobra blitz. He's running out to cover, and the other safety is covering over there. So the middle of the field is wide open because of the defensive call. They're corner blitz into the boundary. Running back is taking the linebacker out. Safety's going over. And all that leaves is that one-on-one with the linebacker. So the formation gets exactly what they want. The route is so wide open, it's hard to miss it as long as you get it there before he runs into the referee. And here is actually your free safety who is free in the coverage, and he just does a poor job breaking down, gets outrun and outplayed here by the receiver. Here's another example. They are in the red zone. Again, 3 receivers to the far side of the field. Third man gets matched up on a linebacker. This is a zone look, but still he beats a man underneath. So a different part of the field, a different coverage look, but still they're getting what they want. And that is receiver inside matched up on a linebacker. So the formation this time, no backs in the backfield. This is empty. Tight end and receiver or running back into the short side of the field. So there's formation a little different and still trips to the wide side of the field or away from the hash. So instead of a man-free look like out in the field, look at what Auburn's doing. They are basically dropping 3 into the end zone. It's like a quarter, half call. They're going to drop 3 into the end zone, and underneath with 4 defensive linemen and 3 linebackers or 2 and a nickel on the field, all these underneath guys are kind of that, they're in zone, but they are kind of route matching with whoever they line up over in the formation. Again, dropping. So what it does is he reads the field is you have a matchup there and you have a matchup there, and he's going to take the more favorable matchup. Now, again, I think quarterback is reading this right. Eyes are in the middle of the field watching safeties. When outside release gets covered over the top by the safety, now he's going to come back to this side. And because it's a zone look, the receiver initially is sitting down trying to find a throwing lane. He's not running away. As soon as he sits and is covered, He does an excellent job right here. He sits and turns and looks at the QB, but knows he's covered, and now he's going to move away and find that throwing lane. The quarterback's on the same page. Now he's beat. 2 yards of separation. We're going to run around the official and in the end zone. Okay, now we're in the third quarter, and Florida's going to try the same thing, but there's been a little bit of an adjustment here from Auburn and a different call, and this time they get a stop. So it's basically the same thing on 3rd and 7, and it's not really a pressure look. You only have 4 guys with their hands on or feet on the line of scrimmage, so like a 4-man front, and they're bringing 2 linebackers. That's only a 6-man rush versus 6-man protection, and it's a man-to-man-to-man call everywhere else with a free safety, much like the first time that Florida scored with this in the ball game. But instead of a linebacker, this is a nickelback. He wears number 6, Christian Tutt for Auburn. He's a defensive back, a nickel safety, and now he's the one matched up with the third receiver inside, not a linebacker, and you see what happens. First thing he does, he anticipates and jumps to the inside. Now he's jumping the route. So this is good coaching and game planning throughout the game by Auburn. This time they don't get beat by the same concept, and they get a stop on 3rd down. Right in front of the official, did a pretty good job of not wrapping him up. I think it's a good no call. Okay, so this is just a great example of, the little game planning and film study things within the matchup that sometimes some coaching staffs win over others, and it can really make a big difference, obviously. Now, let's take a look at some of the other things from the game. Here we go. I want to show you an example of how Florida was really good in their defensive front in this game. Auburn's going to send a tight end across blocking, speed, motion across. They're going to read it on the play side with the quarterback and give it backside here to the back, and he gets hit at the line of scrimmage and stopped on 3rd and 1. So if you look at how this is happening, again, if you go back to the play call, the quarterback is going to put his eyes on this defensive end and read him, whether he's going to give this backside or keep it himself. It's like an RPO type call. And what Florida has done, because it is 3rd and 1, they have shifted to sort of an under front, if you will, and walked the linebacker Moon down over the left tackle and the H-back to give them a 5-man defensive front on 3rd and 1, and the other 2 linebackers sitting there at the next depth. So quarterback's eyes are here. And if that defensive end were to run down inside, he's going to pull the ball and keep it. But instead, he kind of stays. And so now he's going to give it on the zone back here. And Auburn actually gets hat on a hat to the right place. And if I could back it up and actually show you, this is what we're going to look at. First of all, watch the physicality of the defensive end lined up over the center right there that's going to really attack the center on the snap. You see that? He really knocks the center back. He's already got the center going back this way. And the left guard for Auburn is supposed to help and then step up on that play side linebacker, which he does get there. So this block's going to happen, or it's in position to. You're getting a one-on-one here on the defensive end, and the center is blocking the right guy. He's just knocked back. So right now it looks like there's a hole here for this running back to get through on the backside and go make this 1st down. The problem is, again, Florida is more physical on the center. The linebacker is not avoiding the block, but he's getting into the hole quicker than the block is happening from the guard. And the linebacker is going to squeeze it down in there to him, and both teammates are going to get off blocks at the line of scrimmage and hit the running back. So it's hat on a hat. Florida's just more physical. Another example, Florida's defense playing on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Speed sweep coming to the wide side of the field. Look at them push it deep and run it down. There's a lot to like here, especially with the linebacker for Florida and his aggressiveness. But let's notice 2 things. Here's your linebacker, 41, who's going to make the play. The other thing to notice is just physicality and aggressiveness. This is the snap of the ball right on the 35, and watch how quickly this play side of Florida's defense is going to get and play on the other side of the line of scrimmage. So by the time the handoff has been made, if you look, you already have 3 to 4 defenders that are at least 1.5 yards and in some cases 2 yards beyond the line of scrimmage, pushing this thing deep and wide, and like the old kid song, and a linebacker on the edge holding it up. And watch 41 and his aggressiveness run downhill and attack the ball carrier right here. That's how you play defense. This is an outstanding interception by the Florida safety. 3-man route for Auburn. They're going vertical on the outside, inside's up and back, give a screen look, and then inside out and running a wheel behind it, putting 2 on the sideline. Florida gets speed rush to the quarterback's left, force him to step up. They've pumped that to try to get the shot down the field they want. The corner dropped with a deep route, so the quarterback's coming back here to his wheel, but the safety dropping in that throwing lane. It's just an outstanding reading in that zone coverage, the eyes of the quarterback, and then making a play on the football, getting up there with one hand and tapping it to himself. They gave you a closer look, and you won't see a better interception than that from a safety at any point this year. Here's Auburn's touchdown pass in the second quarter to a skinny post, kind of reading double M breaks or post to that side of the field, and zips it in there. Strong throw and a good read. It's not bad coverage at all from Florida when you look what they're doing. Effectively dropping 3 deep, and they cover everything in the middle of the field. And if you look, you've got those 2 posts or M breaks on that side, and what they're trying to do is play off that free safety in the middle of the field. He's dropping between those hashes. When the ball gets thrown, you could see you had a defender running on top and underneath the inside, and halfway decent position for the safety to try to get there with a corner in his hip pocket. And this is just a good throw by the quarterback. It's inside, it's on his knee, it's there before the safety can get over. And it's a great job by the receiver to make a play on the ball knowing he's going to get hit. This is in the third quarter in a 4-point game. Auburn has a 3-man route trying to throw a post, and the safety drops back here and picks it off on a freshman QB. It's 3rd and 12. You're in the red zone. You throw a pick in the end zone. Now, first of all, I really disagree with putting a freshman quarterback in this situation. One, on the road versus a very good pass rush. It is 3rd and 12, so they know you're throwing a football, and it's a 4-point game. You should be playing conservative for the field goal to make it a 1-point game as early in the game as it is. So this is just a poor decision all the way around. And what Florida has done is gone hard corner. They're dropping 3, including to the 3-receiver side. They're actually dropping, 2 guys back here on that deep half of the field. On the snap, Auburn is running 1 across, and they're trying to take number 2 inside and put him in front of the safety there to draw him up and read off of him and go post behind him. But what happens is the end break gets covered by the underneath because there's nothing to draw him up, and the safety just drops into the throwing lane. The quarterback does not read it. He really doesn't have anybody open. You're covered underneath, you're covered here, but that safety was free, just dropping right into the throwing lane. That ball's got to go in the first row of seats and kick a field goal, make it a 1-point ball game. But I disagree with putting him in that position. You get a little bit of a better look there at the drop of the safety from this angle. Again, you can see all the way across, and it really becomes a dead route. It doesn't help you at all. Because of the dropping linebacker, you don't make any, you don't have any effect on the safety with the inside route. And there was really no widening of this route either. As you pushed out to the numbers, you might have room to get it in there. Instead, he's up the hash and going to run it right in behind that safety, who's right there and makes a play on the ball. They're going to extend their lead here. It's a great play call out of 4 wides. They're going to zip it out the backside, break 1 tackle at the line of scrimmage, make a safety miss at the next level, and then it's a big touchdown the other way. And backbreaker kind of play, not only points, but momentum if you're an Auburn fan. Now, I want to go back and show you something here about the design of the play. It's a really smart design because in a situation where they want to run the clock and let their defense play, they go 4 wides to the wide side of the field. So what that does is it takes 4 next-level defenders and really a 5th away from the line of scrimmage, number 1. And so then they get the call from the sideline. And if you look at the alignment of the defense from the center over, you've got 3 blockers and 3 defenders. You got 3 offensive linemen right there, and then 3 defenders at the next level, but there's nobody else. So if you block it up just by alignment, this should be a big play. So the blocking scheme, center and right guard are comboing off the defensive tackle up to the play side linebacker, and right tackle has a defensive end on his own. Right now you get that. Block, and it's up to play side guard to block the linebacker. But he misses because the running back has jumped inside of the block of the center. The linebacker followed him, and so the guard misses him, and this linebacker's got a chance to hit him right here, and he just hits him square and does not wrap up. And this is one of those two where you're lunging because you sense you've got the wrong angle, but you've got to stay on your feet and use that sideline to your advantage. Can't get him out of bounds. All right, thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. If you have any questions, comments, anything, hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. I am Radio Wyatt. Always enjoy hearing from you, your feedback. Check out the Facebook page, facebook.com/Radio Wyatt. And here on YouTube, if you haven't subscribed already, appreciate you doing that. If you want, go ahead and click that bell so that you get a notification anytime we post a new video. And I took about a week off, or kind of slowed down for a week with the open date for the team that I cover. Now we're back into the flow of things, and in the second half of the year, going to have a lot coming your way. So subscribe, hit that bell. Appreciate it very much. And thanks to Renaissance Bank for always sponsoring these videos. They are the best bank in the South, and you can check them out at renaissancennation.com. Thanks for watching. See you next time.